Famcast Media, bitch.
Good evening, demons and demonesses. The name's Kwame, and you're watching another episode of Satanic Panic. Good evening, demons and demonesses. Kwame Wahkan here, and today I'm going to be doing a different type of episode of Satanic Panic. Now, this is going to be another review like always, but the artist that I'm about to review is a lot different from all the other bands I review. I know I stepped out of my comfort zone just a little bit to review Neon Funeral, but this time I'm going to be really stepping out of my comfort zone, and we'll be reviewing a country artist. You see, I was on Twitter a week ago, and I noticed that I was being followed by, well, a very famous person, blue check mark too, so verified account and everything. And I looked at the name, and it said Raleigh Keegan, and I'm like, this can't be real. Like, this has got to be a joke. Either Twitter is messing up, or I didn't think I would be followed by Raleigh Keegan. Now, for those who don't know who Raleigh Keegan is, he's a country music singer. Now, it might seem weird because I'm a metalhead, but I also have like this long love for country music. I first started listening to country. I listened to it a little bit when I was like a wee lad, but it wasn't really popular with me until like I later got into high school, and then I met another student who reintroduced me to country, and she was playing some country music, like, she was playing, you know, random country artists and asking me if I liked it. And I'm like, yeah, this actually isn't bad. And she was like, see, country has this, you know, this bad rep. You know, people always want to say, oh, I listen to everything except country. I listen to everything except country. But yet they never even gave country a chance. And I think it's just so wrong for people nowadays to assume that they're not going to like an artist because of the genre that they're in. Like, for example, that's like, I mean, I know I don't listen to hip hop or listen to it as much as I used to, but I'm not going to, you know, shit on an artist that I've never listened to before. But I'm not going to shit on an artist just because I never listened to them before. I'm going to at least listen to one or two of their songs, or at least be kind and listen to an entire album before I make my opinion. But either way, I thought it was very shocking and surprising that Raleigh Keegan would follow me on Twitter. So apparently there are a lot of people out there listening to the Satanic Panic show and watching my reviews and commentary. So I'm going to repay the favor. So to all you metalheads, goths, punks, and rock stars out there, I'm going to introduce to you the country singer, Raleigh Keegan.
To take off what you good on, no, I can't wait all night long with you right where we're at. It's me in a change of plans. You ain't going nowhere tonight. You ain't going nowhere looking like.
Raleigh Keegan is a country musician born and raised in Columbus, Ohio, but later relocated to Nashville, Tennessee. Now, he has a very interesting birth story. Apparently, he was born in prison. You see, unfortunately, because of the war on drugs, his mother had gotten arrested and had served some time in a state penitentiary while she was pregnant. And shortly after, I think it was a few days after Raleigh was born, he was later adopted, but he didn't know at the time. Now, it wasn't until he was 18 that his mother and father gave him the information to his biological mother. And later on in his life, he did connect with his biological mother, and they are still getting along to this day, a very healthy and happy relationship. Now, as a musician, Raleigh plays several instruments. He started off with the trombone, but he also plays both guitar and piano. And his talents don't just end there. He was also very talented in the athletic role as well. You see, back when he was in college, he was a football player. He also played basketball and he swam. He later majored to become a personal trainer and was really successful at that too. But Raleigh felt that music was more of his passion. So in order to fund his first EP, he sold his house and used it to purchase studio time. Now, the first EP that he recorded in 2018 was One of These Days. In 2019, he recorded his second EP, Who I Wanna Be. And as of this year, in 2020, he recorded his first full-length album, Intermission. Now, since the start of Raleigh's musical career, he's recorded several music videos and live playthroughs. So, let's check them all out.
That Pennsylvania fake ID worked at one store and they learned your made-up name and then stopped asking for it. We drive around till midnight kissing. Drop you off with a buzz still here. We go way back 17, throwback skipping through a CDC. Say way back thinking we had one more week of you and me. We were supposed to outgrow each other like a song burns out each summer. We know those clocks roll forward, but somehow we always find a way back. We always find a way back. We fell in love as much as you can when you're kids. You moved away from school like everybody did. You always end up showing up, baby.
Now, I don't know about you, but I personally like that song. That song is called Way Back. He literally just released it, I think, maybe 1 or 2 months ago. So I'm not sure exactly what album it's going to be on, but it is released as a single. It's on DistroKid. In fact, he was the one that tweeted this on his profile, and that's kind of what introduced me to this song right here. Now, one of the things that I want to point out, and it's clearly noticeable, Raleigh Keegan actually has a real drummer. Now, one of the main problems that I have with country music is that a lot of country artists aren't using, real drummers. I mean, some of them are, but, country is starting to, go through this weird transition that you see in other genres of music, especially with, other genres of rock, where it's starting to have more of a pop/R&B/rap feel to it. Whereas Raleigh Keegan's music actually does sound like country music. So, like I said, have to give him props for actually having a real drummer and a real guitarist. What a lot of country music musicians are doing nowadays is they're using drum loops, and they're putting it over, like, clap tracks and snap tracks and things like that. And this is a problem that many country fans address, because, it just doesn't sound real or natural. I mean, the way a lot of modern country music is, it's basically just rap with a southern accent, or R&B with a southern accent. Whereas with Raleigh Keegan, that you don't get that. You get the real country sound. And matter of fact, if I could compare him to any other artist that's rising at the moment, I'd say he's on the road to being as good as Randall King, who's also another another country artist that I'm a fan of. Now, as for his EPs, his EPs are actually you're actually getting a lot more than what you think. Most people only put maybe 4 tracks on an EP. Raleigh Keegan puts at least 6 tracks on his EPs, and his entire EP is around maybe 20 minutes long. I think One of These Days is 20 minutes. Who I Wanna Be is also 20 minutes. And I think his full length is around 25 minutes, so a bit more extra songs there. Now, to talk more about his One of These Days EP, 2 of my favorite tracks on that album is Better Man and Looking Like That. which ironically became like two of his biggest hits at the moment. It's seen lots of plays on YouTube. In fact, it was one of the first, those were like two of the first songs that played when I plugged into Google Music. You know, they're upbeat, the tempo is pretty high, and, you know, it has like that kind of like that southern homely feel to it. As for his other EP, Who I Wanna Be, Something in the Whiskey and Didn't Come Here to Talk are my two favorite tracks off of that one. And that's mostly because it kind of has like a rock feel to it. It's not like heavy rock, it's more like, I guess you could say, soft rock and country. And as for his full-length album, my two favorite tracks off of that one is Lonely Drive and Wouldn't Change a Thing. And this might sound weird to you guys, and I think the reason for that being is because it gives you a John Mayer type feel. And also ironically, and I forgot to mention this earlier in the video, Raleigh Keegan is actually a big fan of John Mayer. And rightfully so, because John Mayer is possibly like one of the greatest guitarists of, you know, our time right now. I mean, no disrespect to any metal artist or anything like that. I'm talking about within, you know, this type of, you know, genre. I'm not talking about extreme genres of music, because that's probably what we're all used to listening to. But when it comes to, you know, a very famous guitarist that most people probably have heard of, John Mayer is possibly one of the top 10. But either way, out of all three of these records, Raleigh Keegan has shown, you know, an amazing amount of talent. Now, as to his singing, and I didn't really mention this before, Raleigh Keegan is not one of those country singers that has like a really thick southern drawl. And like I said, you know, he came from Ohio. And I think that's one of the things that makes his music a lot more original, you know, being that, because, you know, when most people hear country music, or when they think of country music, they think of like a heavy hardcore, like Tennessee accent, a heavy hardcore, you know, Texas or Georgia accents. And then you hear, you know, Raleigh Keegan, who, he does kind of have a bit of an accent, but it's not as thick. And that's one of the things that separates him from many other country artists. And, you know, it's good to be original. It's good to have your own unique sounding voice. So I really look forward to hearing more about Raleigh Keegan. And, you know, with a voice like this, you know, great guitar skills, great piano skills, and being, you know, a multi-instrumentalist, having, you know, a live drummer and another live guitarist, I have a strong feeling that Raleigh Keegan is going to make it very far in Nashville. You know, he's already risen up like literally just not too long ago, because his first EP came out in 2018. It's 2020, and he has like a very large following in just a short amount of time. So I honestly do believe he's going to get very, very far in Nashville, and possibly even become a household name. In conclusion, Raleigh Keegan is a very talented and gifted musician. I honestly believe that he's one of the very few country artists that actually gives me hope for the rest of the genre, because he doesn't, like I said, he doesn't use that pop type sound. He doesn't try to, you know, use the hip hop type sound. He has his own original type of sound, and you can tell that he puts a lot of hard work into these albums. You know, the fact that, you know, he sold his house in order to pay for studio time, and then that album becomes successful, and then, you know, he makes it far in Nashville, and, you know, he has all these followings so fast. I think this guy has proven to not only country fans, but fans of music altogether, that he has what it takes to make it far in Nashville and do a lot for country music altogether. Even if you're not a big fan of country, I would still recommend you listening to Raleigh Keegan. The song Way Home, I've listened to that like about, I don't know how many times on repeat, because I just love the way it was written, love the way it was, the singing was on it, love the way that the steel guitar sounds like mixed in with the bass. And also, I can't stop mentioning this enough, he has a real drummer. Now, I'm not exactly sure the name of his drummer, but much respect to that brother, because, you know, he is good at what he's doing. And I'm glad that him and Raleigh Keegan got together to make all three of these masterpieces. Raleigh Keegan is going to get the official rating of an 8.7 out of 10. Now, another thing that I forgot to mention is that Raleigh Keegan also hosts a podcast. So, my thing is this, is there anything that this man can't do? I mean, it seems like he excels at everything that he's doing. And the name of his podcast is called Raleigh's Roast. So I think you can catch an entire season of it on YouTube. I'm not sure if he has it on other platforms as well. I know his music is on Spotify. I know his music is on Apple Music. And I know it's also on Amazon. I'm not too sure about his podcast. I only listened to 2 episodes, and those are the ones that he posted on YouTube. But all in all, if you like Raleigh Keegan, I suggest you follow him on Twitter. Check out his music on DistroKid, Apple Music, Amazon, and any other streaming services that might be available. But that's all I have to say about him. If you guys want to know more, I would suggest you check out his website. I'll leave that in the bottom of the screen. And if you're really a fan of him, he also has merch available for sale too. So I will be getting myself some Raleigh Keegan merch pretty soon, maybe after the holidays. But that's Raleigh Keegan for you guys. If you ever get a chance to listen to Way Back, that's a song that you are definitely going to enjoy. Like I said, that's his single, so chances are we might see that on an album, maybe his next album, which will probably, with the way he's pumping out so many albums, it might be 2021 or 2022 when this album comes out, but maybe even sooner than that. But he's a very promising country artist and, person in general. All right, you guys stay safe, stay metal, or in this case, stay country. And you guys enjoy the rest of your day.
Alright, y'all, I have a single that's out on country radio right now. It's called Looking Like That. I hope you like it. The floor. Last time you wore those heels, they were the only thing you wore. I was thinking we could get to town, but all you got me thinking now that you ain't coming nowhere like that. What's the point of leaving? Baby, we ain't even calling. Get back to take off what you put on. If I can't wait all night long to be right where you're at. It's been a change of plans. You ain't going nowhere.